Hello, I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, I hope you will consider subscribing. Today's video is all about the astrology for June 2021. So let's get started. This month, the month of June, will have lots of ups and downs with some pretty dramatic planetary events happening. Not only is it the change of seasons this month, but several planets will change signs and directions during this eventful month. On June 2nd, Venus will enter the sign of Cancer. In this very private sign, Venus makes us more nurturing, empathic, and sentimental towards our home life and loved ones for the next 4 weeks. On June 11th, Mars enters the sign of Leo. The proud energy of Leo is expressed in very physical, even aggressive ways during Mars' time in this fire sign. On the 20th, the sun enters Cancer, our summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, and Jupiter will retrograde in Pisces. On the 22nd, Mercury will turn direct in Gemini, and on the 25th, Neptune will retrograde in Pisces. Then on the 27th, Venus will change signs again and goes into Leo. Let's talk about the first week of June, which I'm calling May 31st, Monday, Memorial Day, actually through June 6th, because on Monday the 31st, Mars is in Cancer, trining Neptune in Pisces. Now, this may sound like a lovely idea, but the aggression of Mars, coupled with the fantasy and delusions of Neptune, can cause dangerous escapist ideas to be promoted to the public. On June 3rd, we have confusion about the truth because the moon will conjunct Neptune, both in Pisces. Now, we have had Neptune in Pisces for quite some time, but it's moving slower than usual now, making it even more powerful. When the moon meets Neptune in its own sign, it can create more of an emotional response to that confusion, which could be a little dangerous or delirious. Thankfully, the moon moves quickly, so her aspects never last long. Also on June 3rd, the sun in Gemini will be trine Saturn in Aquarius, which is an ideal time to focus on future goals and long-term plans. This aspect will also bring in a more sobering mood with more rational thought. Another aspect on June 3rd will be Venus in Cancer, trining Jupiter in Pisces. This positive aspect brings optimism, good luck, and lots of romantic success. If these two benevolent planets hit a sensitive spot in your chart, you will be very lucky on this day. The sweet spot is 28 to 29 degrees of an air sign or 1 to 2 degrees of a water sign. On June 5th, Mars in Cancer will be opposition to Pluto in Capricorn and also square the moon in Aries. This is an aggressive aspect that could lead to hurt feelings and dramatic arguments. Mercury in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces, creating a very emotional atmosphere. This is the second time this pairing has squared this year. So try to get all your facts before making any decisions or voicing your opinions, and by all means, and above all, keep an open mind. Let's move forward to the second week in June, the 7th through the 13th. This is when we will all be getting ready for the solar eclipse on June 10th in Gemini. On June 10th, the sun will conjunct Mercury retrograde and square Neptune in Pisces. So we will all get a little peek behind the curtain. The new moon will get an extra boost from the solar eclipse, making this an opportune time to start something new or learn a new subject or make connections or even take a short trip. But the stakes must be kept low as Mercury is still in retrograde. However, if this is something that you intended to start or you tried to start at an earlier time, even last year or 6 months ago, then it will work under this Mercury retrograde. Be sure to watch my video on the solar eclipse, which will explain how the eclipse will affect you. on to June 11th, when Mars enters Leo. This is a very fiery combination. So over the next 6 weeks, expect sparks of passion, drama, and confidence. If nothing else, it will be very entertaining. On June 13th, the Sun and Mercury in Gemini square Neptune in Pisces. The fogginess of this aspect could bring disappointment and disillusion. It might be safer to just stay in bed this day. Now let's talk about the third week in June, which begins on June 14th, when Saturn is in Aquarius and it squares Uranus in Taurus. This is a frustrating and intense aspect that could bring sudden and unpleasant changes. The best way to survive is to be adaptable. I will also be doing a video on this topic. These two giants are affecting our entire year with their squares, just as the conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter determined the big shift last December. But Uranus is the chaos master, the trickster, so this influence has a much different flavor. Don't miss this video. At the end of the week, on June 20th, Jupiter turns retrograde in Pisces. This 4-month retrograde could bring more changes to our lives, but less luck. It is important to learn to listen to your intuition to find your way again. Jupiter will be retracing his steps until October. Also on June 20th, we have the Sun entering Cancer, bringing us the beautiful summer solstice. This is the first day of summer and the longest day of the year. It's time to let go of doubts and fears and step into the sunlight. On to the fourth week of June. On this day, the 21st, Venus is in Cancer, trining Neptune in Pisces. Magical surprises could await us during this aspect, whether it's romantic, creative, or spiritual. The next day, June 22nd, is the day that we have all been waiting for the entire month. Forget Jupiter turning retrograde or a square between Saturn and Uranus, and even the summer solstice. We are all looking forward to Mercury going direct in Gemini. Finally, we will all be able to think clearly and quickly achieve tasks that have been slowing us down for the last couple of weeks. Then on June 23rd, the Sun will trine Jupiter in Pisces. This positive aspect brings opportunities to help us grow personally and spiritually. Then on June 24th, we have a full moon in Capricorn at 6 degrees. And thankfully, this full moon doesn't have any strenuous aspects. I think there has been quite enough energy expended this month, so we should all do a very quiet full moon ritual, thanking the universe for this breather. Just allow whatever has been culminating to manifest at this time and be grateful for all your blessings. This serious lunation sternly reminds us to finish up any lingering tasks or projects before we start anything new. Then on June 25th, we have Neptune moving retrograde in Pisces. This means that Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto, all the big boys, are retrograde at the same time. And ironically, Mercury is not. So this retrograde awakens us from our fantasies and throws us into harsh realities. Over the next few months, we might have to face some cold, hard facts and look internally to get answers. Now, this brings us to the final weekend in June, and oh my gosh, there is so much going on, but let's just take things one at a time. So on June 27th, we have Venus entering Leo. We have a moon in Capricorn conjunct Pluto, and we have the moon and Pluto conjunct opposing Venus. So with the Venus and moon opposing Pluto, this could create a heightened emotional state where one party tries to manipulate or dominate the other. And due to the emotions involved, people will be blinded to their inability to curb their highly emotional responses. Over the next 4 weeks, As Venus transits Leo, we will experience love in dramatic, vibrant, and exciting ways. We may be a little too generous with our money, but at least our wardrobe will be stylish. Then on June 28th, the moon moves into Aquarius and conjuncts Saturn. The moon and Saturn will oppose Mars in Leo and square Uranus in Taurus, forming a T-square. Whew. These are some big and heavy influences for a lighthearted summer weekend. Now, during this T-square between Mars, Saturn, and Uranus, we may see an outburst of angry people or even military action. There will be too much fixed energy in the air, people trying to hold their grounds, force their opinion on others. And when one party is pushed too far, there could be a big blow up. Personally, I'm staying home that weekend and watching everything on the internet. Now, that is the snapshot for June's astrology. There was quite a bit in that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you're interested in a personal reading, just look for my contact information down below in the description box. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.